So today we're going to compare the volume of prisms, cylinders, to cones and pyramids. Okay, so do you remember these? These are these containers that have nets in them that I showed you a few weeks ago. So I want you to look at these two objects. This is a cube. You can see that. We also could call this a square prism because it has a square base, and the other faces are rectangles, although more specifically squares. This is a square pyramid. It has a square base, but it has only one base, and the other side is, on the opposite side, is a vertex. So these two are similar in that they have the same size and shape base. Okay, so they both have square bases, and they are exactly the same size. They are also the same height, and hopefully you can see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the volume, and we're going to do that using rice. So I'm going to fill them up with rice, and then we can compare them. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to take the net out, and we're just going to use the outside piece, and I'm going to fill up the pyramid, and I'm going to pour it into the prism. Okay, so here is one. So you see that that rice is taking up the entire volume of this pyramid. So I'm going to pour it, try not to lose too much. And so you can see how much we have so far. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. So another whole volume of the pyramid going into the prism. And still not full, so we'll try it again. Third time. Oops, I spilled a little there, spilled a lot there, spilled a whole lot. But you can see pretty much it's full. It's full. Now the pieces I dropped would fit if we compacted it in. So it took 3 of these to fill up 1 of these. So now let's look at a cylinder and a cone. And cylinders and cones are similar in that they both have circular bases. A cylinder has 2 of those bases, but a cone only has 1. So here's another example where these are related to each other. They are the same size base, and their heights are the same. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill this up with rice, and we're going to pour it into the cylinder container, and we'll see how many times it takes the cone to fill up the cylinder. Now you notice I have a crack here. Hopefully I won't spill too much or break it. So here's 1 cone's worth of volume of rice, and I'm going to pour it in, and we'll do it a second time. Again, full volume of rice in the cone going into the cylinder, and not full yet. So what do you think happens on the third time? Try not to overfill. So this is the third time, and pretty much fills up the entire cylinder. Okay, so it took 3 cones to fill up 1 cylinder. One last demonstration. This is a triangular prism. It has 2 triangle bases. This is a triangular pyramid, 1 triangle base. The other triangle faces lead up to 1 vertex there. And again, they are the same base, size, and shape, and the same height. So what do you think is going to happen? How many times do you think it will take the pyramid volume to fill up the prism volume? Let's see. Here's 1. My pouring is not perfect, and I just dumped some out. Let's try this again. 2. I'm going to set it down so I don't spill again. And 3. Oh. Hopefully you see that that's pretty darn close. that we filled up the prism by dumping 3 prisms or 3 pyramids worth of rice into the pyramid or the prism. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that a pyramid's volume is 1/3 of what it would be as if it were a prism with the same base shape and height. Same thing on a cylinder and a cone, right? If you take the area or the volume of a cylinder and divide it by 3, you would get the volume of the cone. And the same thing on square prisms and pyramids, that the pyramid volume is 1/3 of what we found as if it were a prism.